I have 7 tips that will help you speak clearly at work, and they are built specifically for introverts because being quiet by nature is not the weakness that you may think it is. I say that as someone who has spent over 20 years and over 20,000 hours as a professional speaker and trainer, standing in front of thousands of leaders and participants. Clarity and communication has almost nothing to do with volume, personality, or genetics. It is a skill with learnable parts. And introverts oftentimes pick it up faster. One reason is because they waste fewer words. This skill also pays better than most people realize. I keep up with the latest hiring research. And communication currently sits at number 1 on the list of skills that employers ask for, ahead of almost every technical skill on the board. You might believe clear speakers are born confident. No, no, it's the other way around. The confidence shows up after the skill, never before it. If you appreciate me making this type of content, let me know by gently tapping that like button. Let's get into it. 1. The first thing to notice is when you are using knowledge that the audience does not know. Psychologists call this the curse of knowledge. Once you know something so deeply, they suggest that you lose the ability to imagine what it's like to not know it. And that's what can make a smart person sound so confusing instead of being crystal clear. Now, the fix is simple. Before you speak, ask yourself 2 questions. What does this room already know? And how can I say it in a way that they will actually receive it from my perception? I once heard an analogy that stuck with me. Can you make this a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Something so simple that anyone in the room could follow it with 0 effort. That's the bar. Not dumbing it down, just cutting out everything that isn't necessary for them to understand you. Point 2, pay attention to who you naturally gravitate towards listening to because you're already modeling them whether you realize it or not. Think of what podcaster you like. Think of what show you like to listen to because when you're copying them, you're becoming them. We become what we listen to. We become what we insert into our consciousness. When I was a young man, I was listening to Brian Tracy over and over and over again. And one day this girlfriend heard a tape of him and she goes, "Oh, you sound exactly like them," like a light bulb went off in her head. And I recognized at that moment that what I was listening to, I was literally becoming. So now you can do this tactically. I do it tactically and selectively with speakers right now. And what I'll do is I'll find a speaker that has a communication style that I would like to absorb, and I'll end up rehearsing them and mimicking them till their style becomes my style. And I have a new energy in the way I communicate. It is a hack. One specific technique that stuck out from me from a training and vocal coach is end every sentence strong. Don't let your voice trail off at the end of a thought. Full enunciation, full energy, all the way through to the period or punctuation mark at the end. Point 3, practice in front of real, live human beings. Speaking is a trainable skill. It's not a personality trait, and it improves dramatically with repetition in front of real people. Now, one place I would point anyone towards is Toastmasters International. It's a public speaking organization that's been around for decades, and it will walk you through vocal variety, handling filler words, storytelling, all in front of people who are there for the same reason you are. You're not just getting reps, you're getting reps around people who will actually tell you the truth about what you are doing. Point 4, always go to the room the night before if you have the opportunity. I will go to the room. I will stand in it. I will touch every corner. I will touch every seat. I will stand in the front of the room and picture myself up there, seeing the audience in front of me. It might sound small, but it changes how you carry yourself when you're actually in the room. It makes you feel safe, it makes you familiar, and you are owning the room. Early on, I was taught this template that you can use. Before you walk into the room, you always walk in poised. Don't run up to the stage. Walk in with a confident gait. Then open with 2 enrolling questions that are built to engage everyone in the room. Something like, how many of you would like to make more money? And I'm demonstrating what I want them to do. How many of you would like to be better at communicating or at work? You just included the whole audience. They will say yes and yes. Then you say, my name is Michael Dugan, and I would like to thank you for your time and thank you for trusting me with your precious time. At that moment, you are in. If you find any of these points useful, let me know. Or if you have any questions, put it in the comments below. I'll read every one of them and I'll give you my answer. Point five, use your imagination to picture yourself succeeding as a professional speaker in front of the room. See yourself as the world's most spellbinding professional speaker, teacher, trainer, coach, captivating, motivating. For years before I ever became a professional speaker, I visualized myself winning the Mr. Alaska bodybuilding show. I visualized it thousands of times. I felt the feeling that had already occurred. The morning of the first show, I knew I was going to win it. When they announced the winner of the show, I put up my hand before I even won the show. I proved out the principle of imagination combined with feeling. You do this yourself. Give yourself permission to be a professional speaker. You have a message that needs to be heard, and the people that are introverted need their message listened to the most. Point six, notice where your attention goes right before you speak. Is it on yourself or is it on the people in front of you? Whenever I feel the pressure is creeping in, I remind myself, this is for them, not me. It's a small phrase, but it takes the spotlight off of my own performance and it puts it back on them where it belongs. Left unchecked, the instinct is to want to be liked. It's the pride of the ego that wants the admiration, the adoration for how good of a speaker you are. But redirected, it becomes about serving the people in the room instead of protecting your own ego. That shift alone takes most of the fear out of it. You actually repeat your core message. The saying is, tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them and then tell them what you told them. It's the rule of threes. You want to make sure that the information transfers, that it's sticky information, that it sticks to them. You want to make sure that the information goes in. That's why you use stories, metaphors, analogies. You give them a point, then you say it's kind of like, and you give them an anecdotal story. Earlier, when I said that's super complicated, simpler is better. Can you make it a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Where your job to do is transfer your message from your perspective. If they receive your message from their perspective, that's a miscommunication. Sticky information works. Repetition works. Tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them again. Here's what I want you to walk away with. I barely graduated from high school. Nobody handed me the skill. I built it one deliberate piece at a time. The same way you're about to. Simplify your message for your audience. Model the communicators that you admire. Get real repetitions in front of real people. Go in and own the room before you ever speak. See yourself and feel yourself succeeding before you've ever done it. And take the pressure off of yourself by making it about them, not about yourself. And say the more important things more than once. None of this requires that you become loud or become someone that you're not. It just requires that you treat clarity like the learnable skill that it actually is. If you want to go deeper and be invaluable at work, watch this next video. Stop being so good at your job. That's the natural next step after this one. If this helped you see your own voice differently, hit the like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.